This is a 1959 Morris Minor. It's not just any 1959 Morris Minor. This is my 1959 Morris Minor that I literally just bought today. Paid $500 for. I wanted to make a small video and show you around the car what $500, what kind of muggy $500 will buy you. Now the first question you may be asking is, why would I buy a muggy for $500 if I could buy literally any other car other than like Ferraris and Lamborghinis for $500? And well, it's cooler than like a Toyota Camry. I didn't want an American car like, I don't know, Chevy Cavalier, because there are way too many American cars here. Out of the 16 cars, and not including this one, that are here, one of them is foreign, and that's a Nissan Sentra. This is my car. I decided my first car, why would I buy an antique British car for a first car? I decided my first car would be foreign, and I had a choice between this or an MGB, and I chose this. I bought this car because it's cooler than an MGB, I'd say. Okay, think, when was the last time you saw an MGB? Probably a week ago, like it was with me going down the road. When was the last time you saw one of these? Unless you went to Hershey Car Show, it's been forever since you saw one of these. Because that's the last time I saw one of these. Okay, now I told you why I bought this incredible vehicle. Now I'm going to show you around it, give you a little tour. I will review it when it is completely done, though, because this is a project car. Now this car, the Morris Minor came with trafficator arms, which are these flip-out turn signals, which are really, really weird. This may look like it has it, but it doesn't, because the other side was missing, and I went in the trunk, and I noticed this. This is to the other side. Oh, by the way, this pink color, it's not staying. It's going to either be, I'm either going to buff it out or I'm going to paint it mint green. It was originally this banana yellow, but this was the trafficator arm. It's a cover. It's kind of neat. And this Arizona iced tea jar is filled with spark plugs, like any Arizona iced tea jar should be. So let's go on with the tour. Right here we have this incredible trunk lid, which has its own prop, which is really unusual. To take the prop off, you lift the trunk lid up and it will fly out. Then there's this little slot up there you can put it into. Like so. This thing has the same problem as the Jeep, where the trunk doesn't actually close because it's just a circle. But in this case, it's a square because they wanted to be different. By the way, this is the dealer that I got it from, Cars Under 1,000. Really great dealer. I like these. These are exposed hinges. I'll talk about this in a few minutes. But it's got 2 exposed hinges. It actually has 4 exposed hinges, because there are also 2 on the hood. Speaking of on the hood, look at this badge. That is a really cool badge. It's broken at the top, but look at this badge. It's got a bull, an ox crossing a river. Because this car was made in Oxford, England. You never see these things. Okay, so talking about the hood, let's talk about what's under the hood. But first we're going to talk about how to open the hood. Normally, in one of these era cars, there's a thing in the grill. Not there in this one. Then on a normal car, it's on the driver's side, the little pull tab. Not there in this one. It's actually on the passenger side, because this car was originally produced in Oxford, England, and they drive on the right side of the car instead of the left side. So they didn't bother moving the hood release over there, so I gotta walk to this side. Messed up right there. But as I said, you walk to this side, and oh, by the way, I didn't do the door test because this isn't the review. You know what, I will do the door test after I show you the monstrous engine. But this side, and there's the hood release, kind of like a wire hanger. You pull that, and the hood pops. And as I said, you can open the hood and check out this monstrous engine that makes a lot of horsepower. There it is. There's the monstrous 0.8 liter Austin 4-cylinder. That makes, are you ready? 29 horsepower. That is a huge amount of horsepower. Of course, I'm kidding. That is the smallest amount of horsepower ever. But can you guess the 0 to 60 time on this car? Because it's a really light car. I would guess around 22 seconds. It's actually 53 seconds. It's really strange. And most people call these engines bulletproof. They are the most reliable of the British engines, but not with these carburetors. These are the worst carburetors ever made. They're like oil inside, and they're very unusual carburetors. Let me just put that back so I don't damage my brand new car. Brand new. This thing's 61 years old. A lot of people say the engines to these cars are bulletproof. But the cars themselves are not bulletproof. Shown by this bullet hole right here that the previous owner, not the guy that had the car dealer, but the guy before that shot into it. It bounced off a sign, and it ricocheted right into the car's windshield. And one VinWikier, because I've been putting this car on VinWiki, saw that the windshield had been shot, and there's an unusual spot in the seat. That's actually worn seat. There were leaves stuck here, and those got rid of the seat. But I have to assure you, it's not blood. And by the way, the seat is in incredible condition. Showing you the interior now, we have this incredible 3-spoke steering wheel, and the very rare steering wheel inside, which is a Morris badge instead of the M that would normally be on it. This is the most unusual ashtray. It flips out like this. I just hurt my hand. There's a mess of wires in where the gauge should be. 2 glove boxes, 1 and 2. That just came off. This car is pretty nice, and there are the pedals. Here is the... How many? I think this is a 4-speed. It's a 3 or 4-speed manual transmission. Pretty cool. Very cool. The guy threw in this extra headlight, which you saw in the beginning of the video, me taking it off. This is a Lucas bulb to a 67 MG. It fits in a Morris Minor, so I'm putting it in a Morris Minor. Now I'm going to show you why this Muggy was only $500. Because mainly these Muggies are like $12,000 cars. It's these 2-door coupe versions. If you want a Traveler, that's going to be an extra grand, so that's $13,000. You want the pickup or the van, that's a $20,000 car. Amazing that this one was only $500, other than the cheap cars painted on the windows and on the roof somewhat. But I'm going to show you the real reason why it was only $500, and that's underneath the carpeting. Don't know if you can see that, but that is the worst rust hole in the world. You can see straight through to the ground. That is a terrible rust hole. And there's also one on this side as well. That's not supposed to be like that. That's another terrible rust hole. But I knew that when I was buying the car. I think it's still an incredible car, and we're going to go with the door test now. Door testing, the 1959 Morris Minor. Door opens pretty easily. Closes incredibly well. Let's go to the next one. Okay, doing the driver's door now, if I can walk around to it. A little bit hard to get open. Closing. It actually closes. This car is pretty good. And while we're on the doors, let's talk about the problem with the doors. When you open the door, by the way, I love how these doors open. When you open the door, you're greeted with the door panel. I gotta make sure I'm getting it on camera. Yes, I am. You sit in the car, if there was a seat here, and you go to close the door, and you can't. You can close it from here, but that doesn't work. What I do is I roll the window down some, and it's only like 4 cranks to get it down, show you how small this car is, and pull the door shut. using the quarter window frame. And then I closed the window. And that seems to do the job just fine. I just fill. So this car, what is that? There was an air horn going off. This car is pretty cool other than that. Now this is the part where I would normally do the drive test. Unfortunately, the monstrous engine in this Morris, I'm just going to start calling it a Muggy. The monstrous engine in this Muggy does not work at the moment, but it's very easy to get these things running, and I will be doing that. Also, fixing the floors, putting in new seats and everything like that. Only the passenger seat and the rear seat. The other seat is perfectly fine. So that's where I normally do the drive test, but I'm going to show you a few things, a few more things on the car. Like in case the electronic ignition doesn't work. What's this down here? We got a crank. We got a hole for a crank that goes straight to the engine. That is incredible. Now, if you want a car that matches